never lived in a place with so much of the natural wildlife just idly grazing upon the grass, quietly, sometimes parking beneath a tree in order to get a respite from the harsh sun, before continuing on its merry way, ambling and bouncing as it goes. Sorry, I couldn't resist. There are so many robotic lawnmowers here, and for some reason I keep constantly trying to call them robotic vacuum cleaners. Don't know why. So I'm walking back from picking up prescription, which I'll explain in a bit, and people keep asking me why I think this place is so similar to Madison. And I respond with, well, in Madison I used to live nearby a large park called Elver Park, sorry. And, well, let's just say there are a lot of things in common. I'm going to be walking through a park. This is the way most housing ends up being built here. This was obviously somebody's house. They tore it down to build another house there. It's because this area housing prices are so high that it is legitimately viable to buy a existing house to tear it down in order to build a house. It's so ridiculous, the property market around here. We have a little preview of the house. Oh, that's not the housing plan I was hoping they were going to go for. I think this was the one that had a very unique housing plan available on their website. Alas. Lots of pretty flowers, though. It is very obviously springtime. Tulips. I should switch to selfie mode. Selfie mode. Yes, I am wearing a big-ass hat because, being bald, the sun is a deadly laser and all that. Good getting internet. This is the second to last day of VEDA, which ironically is being recorded in the middle of my VEDA. It's a long story, which I have time to talk about, actually, because I have a bit of a long walk home. It's in the middle of the day. So, I wanted to do a VEDA on gaming, specifically classic gaming, which is something that I'm kind of known for. And the problem is that I don't really have the time to dedicate to a longer video outside of weekends, and I keep having things happen on weekends that take up all of my time. I know this is not particularly helpful. No, it's shining too much in my face. Grumble. Have you ever seen prescription bifocal sunglasses? Because that's what these are. I wish I would have never convinced them to have the multifocal lenses. They're more of a nuisance than anything else. Anyway, so the whole record a video over classic gaming thing's taking me longer than I had wanted. Or more specifically, I don't have enough time. This actually has to do with what I was talking with my therapist about on Monday, which is I don't really have any time to relax in my life. I have stare at the wall time. Stare at the wall time is not really relaxing. That's more stare at the wall time. Here's somebody behind me. Pausing. And yeah, if I didn't tell you this was Denmark and you weren't looking at signs, you would be, well, this looks almost identical to Madison. Like, this neighborhood in particular is freakishly, eerily similar, complete with the Elverdalsvej versus Elver Park. And Elversdalsvej goes right up against the major park in this area. Yeah. Can you guess if this is a Pokestop? Just a hunch. Just a hunch. Standard football pitch, along with a water catchment area. This is my frequent walking trail. Trying to avoid pedestrians, so apologies for not pointing out much. Parks around here have far fewer trees than I prefer. I mean, there's still trees around, just fewer of them than I prefer. Let's be honest, I'm a sucker for forest. Anyway, the reason why I'm walking out here in the middle of the workday is that I needed prescription refilled, and pharmacies around here are, shall we say, not conducive for me being able to get any medication from them. So, like the pharmacy that I just came from, it is open from 8:30 in the morning to 17, so 5 p.m., which sounds like a fairly typical business day, except that I wake up at 9:30 in the morning and work until 18. So there's not really a time that I can stop by the pharmacy to pick up medication, unless if I do it during my lunch break, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm just taking a longer than normal lunch break. Danes in general tend to work earlier than most. From what I've seen, a typical workday is 8 to 15:30 or so. So rush hour around here is from 15 to 16 instead of 16 to 18 like it is in the US. And yes, that's 2 hours. Rush hour is 2 hours long. From what I've been told, a traditional working schedule is 8 to 16, 4 days a week, and then a half day Friday. My working schedule is split up amongst all of the days. I probably could pull off a 4-day week, but I don't want to work extra hours. That's the problem, is that I'm not very good at working long periods of time. I start dealing with a lot more stress than normal just by working, say, 9 hours instead of 8. So I don't want to.
Okay, so what I do is I have a nestled like this. So I have some degree of control over her. And then I grab her like this. Tilt her head up. Gently. Yeah, she doesn't want this.
Of course she doesn't.
Get that in as far back as I can. Looks like I'm pretty sure she's pocketing it. But if you give her some sugar, she will swallow. And then the half pill. I also think I should start keeping this in a sealed container, because she sometimes walks over it at night and her claws might pierce the foil.
Maybe give her her own pill container.
And she's gotten really good at spitting pills out.
Yes, she has. Okay.
But I think she loves churro more than she hates the pills.